are going to Angel to King's Cross. Hello crawlers. Now, we're in Angel Station, underground in London, and it's an unusual place for us to start because today we are going to explore the Angel to King's Cross route that you can find in my best-selling book, Historic Pub Crawls Through London. Now, if we have a look here, Ben, we will show our lovely audience. We have 11 pubs. We're actually going to follow the route this way, and we're going to take a lovely Canalside stroll until we end up in King's Cross, or actually more specifically St Pancras, and I'll explain the difference between the two when we get there. But the reason we started in the station, this is not a route for people that are scared of heights, because it features the underground's longest escalators. By the way, it's not these, so we're going to keep walking. We might actually cut the video now, and we'll film when we get to the actual long ones. Right, it's the moment of truth. We are going to walk up the longest escalators in the country. Well, there is a fact in my book about this. It's hard to believe that nearly 20 years ago, someone actually skied down these. The underground always puts these things in place, and sometimes you see the little spikes that pop up. That's to stop people sliding after there was a lot of people that did that. Was it James Bond or Mission Impossible? One of those films where someone unable to do that, this crazy Norwegian guy hurtled himself down here. There's obviously nowhere to turn around and slow yourself down. What a lunatic. But let's get ourselves up here. We are going to get out into the sunshine. You will see it open up gloriously for us. We are filming this at the end of June. It's been a sunny few days, so you're going to watch me melt like a human candle in this hoodie. So the best thing we can do for that is go and grab our first pint.
If you hate heights, you'll have to give this pub a miss.
It's the Peacock. It's pub number 1 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
But first we've got to get there, and it was up the longest escalators on the London Underground, which made headlines in 2006 when a Norwegian man skied down their 200-foot length. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to, and this newly named Peacock replaced the old Angel pub, which took its name from the 17th century coaching inn, which gave the area its name. Now, the first pub was built in 1639 before being replaced in 1819 and again at the turn of the 20th century. Inside this spacious pub, there's lots of seating and a delicate blossom tree at the centre. Now, it used to be a Wetherspoons, and someone got carried away buying pictures as they run all the way down to the toilet, which feels like they're miles away. But back to the bar, and I was treated to a tankard of Jubble, which is one of my favourites. Now, whilst Angel Islington is the third cheapest property on the Monopoly board and an in-game house costs £50, today 2-bed flats in the area go for about 1.4 million, and you can enjoy all the construction from this newly refurbished outdoor seating area overlooking the junction. But we can't be stopping when we've got to crawl.
So we're just walking a little bit out of Angel now on the route to King's Cross. The Angel Islington is the third cheapest property on the Monopoly board. And you might have heard of people doing things like the Monopoly pub crawl. You've got to be very brave to do that. Some of the properties on the board actually don't exist. They're not real places. And there's a lot of jumping around in London. Also, people do things like the Circle Line. Obviously, I prefer to take a nice stroll past some lovely pubs. We've got a great mix of pubs coming up on this route. The next one that we are heading to has a significant link to the famous Hatton Garden robbery of a few years ago. And we'll find out more about that when we roll the video.
Let's visit the HQ of the Hatton jewellery heist.
It's the Castle. It's pub number 2 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
That's right. This was mission control for the Hatton Garden robbery in 2015, when 8 men, most in their 60s, drilled into the vault of the safety deposit building and almost escaped with the money until they were spotted bragging about it in the pub several days later. But back to the bar, and I grabbed a pint of rosy cider before exploring this pub, which does a great job of matching some eclectic art alongside some more original and historic features. Now, I'm often asked, why are the pubs so empty? And that's because we like to turn up early in quiet moments so that we get to show you around. And upstairs, in better weather, this terrace is one of the busiest and best places to watch live sport. But you'd need a lot more sunshine to get stuck in to the frozen margarita. And even if it was chilly, beer will make it better.
So sometimes we'll walk between 5 and 10 minutes between pubs, obviously to get a little bit of fresh air and to make ourselves ready for that next pint. This is a very short walk. We've got a lot of pubs in succession now, all based around Chapel Lane Market, which I will show you in a moment. But we're leaving the castle, Pentonville Road, and if you can see it, hopefully it comes out then on the camera, but where we have those lights, that's how close our next pub is. And I really like this pub. I like the old rustic brickwork on the wall, and it really reminds me, this ceiling, this place, oh, noise coming by. The pressed tin ceiling really reminds me of all of those bars that I loved when I went to New York for research for my book around New York. Now, when we finish one, 3 Johns, we'll head up to the market, and we're going to go and film the Alma on the corner and have ourselves some pints. This way.
This copper-tiled ceiling is simply stunning.
It's the 3 Johns, and it's pub number 3 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
Yep, you did really see that. Was straight in for a pint of the Yes from the Goodness Brewing Company. The beauty of these pub crawls is being able to explore different places within a few yards of each other. Gorgeous corner pub with its huge windows, simply remarkable. Now, it's changed its name through the years, from Hobgoblin to the Fallen Angel, before sticking to the 3 Johns after the 18th century radicals. Inside, this pub is stripped back to worn wood and bare bricks across 2 rooms, with one illuminated by an impressive skylight. And whilst the unmatched tables and chairs and huge bar is overlooked by murals and artwork, the star of the show is a copper-tiled ceiling that reflects through the entire pub. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
This is the famous Chapel Lane Market, and quite controversially, because there'll be plenty of people that disagree with me about this, this was where they did a lot of the filming for the market scenes in that classic sitcom, Only Fools and Horses. Now, I know that some people claim that it was filmed in Bristol. There were parts of it filmed elsewhere, but there were bits that were filmed here. And it's also notable because this cafe here, Cafe is where dance sensation Luke Littler would come for a fry-up before starring in his breakout tournament when he reached the final. Gosh, it must be a couple of years ago when he lost in the final to Luke Humphreys. And now look where he is, one of the best in the world. Right, Ben, we're just telling here, we're going to have a look in the Alma. We've been here before, we've filmed this before, and it's had a complete refit. It looks absolutely stunning. They are a fully independent pub. Let's go in there, grab ourselves a pint, and see if we can find someone to have a conversation with us. Right, let's roll the video.
Only Fools and Horses fans will want a taco in here.
It's the Alma. It's pub number 4 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
This friendly corner pub was refurbished in 2024 and stands proudly at the heart of Chapel Lane Market, which was one of the filming locations for writer John Sullivan's sitcom classic. But back to the bar, and I was treated to the London Pilsner by Portobello before heading downstairs, where the games room gave me the chance to hit my customary 180 as a tribute to Luke Littler, who used to grab a fry-up at the cafe opposite the pub. But here, their kitchen is taken over with a selection of Mexican food. And whilst there wasn't time to eat, I got to show this Gen Zer how to win at a tabletop game, which he'd never seen before. But we can't be stopping when we've got to crawl.
Oh, it's all right. We just nearly get run over. So what a cute independent pub that was. And it was one that I was requested to visit quite a bit. We've walked to the end of Chapel Lane Market now, just underneath the sign here. And on the corner is this pub that's gone through lots of different names over the years. People have struggled to keep it open and operating as a pub, but it is today, and we're going to go and grab a pint in there, and that is the video that you will see next.
Let's visit the famous London market that'll go down in history.
It's the Chapel Market Tavern. It's pub number 5 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer. Oh! Round this way, all the way. All the way.
Now, this pub's been known by a few names over the years, but this glorious tiled corner building sits at the edge of the famous Chapel Market, which was one of the locations for filming the market scenes in Only Fools and Horses. But more recently, this greasy spoon was where 16-year-old dart sensation Luke Littler stocked up before his storming run to the final. Now, there's a lot to like about this modern pub, with a decor that pays homage to its previous incarnations. And we got a sneak peek upstairs, where you can have a party under the watchful gaze of these decapitated beasts. But where there's a bar, there's a beer. And the boss behind the bar grabbed me a pint of the Lost and Grounded before we left a copy of our book and headed out onto the next one.
Well, thanks so much for sticking around this long into the video. And just give me a couple of minutes to give you a quick public service announcement to let you know what we're doing and why. In the summer of 2023, I decided to compile the 20 years worth of pub crawls that I'd been organising for my friends and family every year for my birthday and put them into a book which I self-published, and thankfully thousands of you bought, popped into your back pocket and went to explore the pubs of London. It's now the summer of 2025 and I have 2 London books published, an England book imminently due to launch. So maybe when you're watching this video, it's available in all good high street stores, and there are many more still to come. Now, you can grab yourself a copy at the link in the bio or check it out on any other stores. And they are deliberately pocket-sized because this is your excuse to get out, grab a pint, and start supporting our pub industry, which is struggling. Thank you. Right, let's get on to the next crawl. We're going to walk through this estate here. It's a very, very short walk, and then we will go to one of the most stunning pubs. I absolutely adore this pub. The tile work on it is fantastic. It's a proper gunner's pub. It was named in Louis Dunford's song, The Angel, but the landlord, Bradley, he's a Tottenham fan. Let's see how that one sits with everyone. We're going to roll to that video now.
Are you even an Arsenal fan if you don't recognise this pub?
It's the Thornhill Arms. It's pub number 6 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
This gorgeous local pub is set back just a few short spaces from Regent's Canal, which leads right into the heart of King's Cross. Built around 1850 and set across 3 floors, it is probably London's best surviving example of a Charrington pub, which was run by the brewery founded in Bethnal Green in the early 18th century. Now, I might have missed the big man today, but they opened up early for me and was very grateful for a pint of neck oil. And whilst there's an impressive collection of beer mats on the wall and many classic rustic features, including some beautiful tiling. This pub is best known as a popular Arsenal supporters pub, so much so that in Louis Dunford's heartfelt tribute to the area, you can hear it mentioned in his song The Angel, which is played before every home game at the Emirates Stadium. But this throwback pub is not just for the fans, and who cares where you're from when this is the destination?
Well, this is the more scenic part of the walk. It's always nice to go to a pub and be near water. And that's very, very hard to do, obviously, in London. But we're going to stroll now. So I've just left the Thornhill Arms, and I'm going to stroll just along Regent's Canal, where it will open up into what used to be rather, quite a... I'm trying to find a nicer word than unpleasant, really, because it used to be industry, and then as that industry on the railways started to decline, bringing goods into London through the main terminals here, the warehouses started to exist as big raves. The area was notorious for crime and sex workers. It really wasn't very nice. But you know what? A tech giant obviously swooped in to save the day, because when we walk along the canal in a bit, we'll see Google's new head offices, which I think cost something stupid like 1.6 billion to build. And of course, when Google puts a head office right in the heart of King's Cross, what's going to happen? The whole area is being gentrified. So we're going to check out Coal Drops Yard, but first I'm going to walk down this canal. We'll pop up to go and see the Star of Kings. That's going to be the video that you see next. So let's make a move. I just thought I'd quickly show you this before we go to the next pub. I mean, look at these old wharf buildings, all converted now, lots of living space. You know, there's been so much going on in this area, and it's hard to believe when you stand here and look at this, to think that a couple of 100 yards that way is a train that would take you to Paris. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. And on to the next one.
Which world-class DJ used to have a residency in this pub?
It's the Star of Kings. It's pub number 7 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go in and get a pint.
It's easy to miss this old pub on the busy road, hidden behind the hedges, amongst the new developments and activity around Coal Drops Yard. And nearby is a book lover's paradise, as word on the water rams a bookstore into every nook and cranny of a 100-year-old Dutch barge, nestled on the canal, where I had a quick look for my book. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. And this one is set across a remarkable 3 floors. A main bar is simple, open and welcoming. And I went for the soulless session from Redemption Brewing before today's assistant smashed a pint of the Two Tribes Power before I disappeared through the hidden door down to the basement, where this 100-capacity venue has hosted comedy legends such as Phil Wang, Sarah Pascoe, Lou Saunders and many others. Oh, and that DJ that used to have a residency here, well, it was Basement Jack's. There's just so much more to see, with a private dining room that we won't show as it was busy, but I did get a look at the private karaoke room. So thanks to the gang for looking after us, with a special shout out to the lovely Mia. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
Well, I can tell you, there was no way I was going to be sticking around and doing karaoke at this point. It's not going to happen. And besides, we've got far too many pubs still to hit up. Here is the Google head office. Look at the size of it. In America, you'd say that that is an entire block. It is that and some. I don't know that anyone's even in there yet, but this thing seems to have been built for ages. Let's keep walking, because we will carry on the route. When I first wrote this route for my friends a number of years ago, there was a pub in that space where you see this wooden hoarding called the gas station. But it unfortunately didn't last there for very long at all, which was a real shame. It was a Definitely a cute little place with a lovely garden that looked over this canal and over this wonderful, delightful little bookshop, which Word on the Water. Dream of one day maybe seeing my book in there. Who knows? Maybe might be in there. Look, they've got boxes from gardeners, so they might have my book in there if I'm lucky. I don't think so. It'd be nice though, wouldn't it? I just thought I'd check to see whether they've got my book, and they think they've sold out. I didn't even think they'd have them, but they have. And we're going to go and have a look and see if I can find some. Look at this. Come in, follow me. Come on, follow me. This tiny little boat. Oh, excuse me. I mean, he definitely remembers selling a couple. He might be lying, but I don't think so. He seemed like a lovely guy. Let's go and see if they have got any copies left. Otherwise, they'll be on order, and you'll be able to come here and pick them up another time. Right. I am absolutely buzzing. We couldn't find any copies of my book in Word on the Water, which I do reference in the book, hoping one day to have the book in Word on the Water, and they've sold all the copies. So I wish the other retailers would pull their fingers out and order even more so that we can get as many of these books into as many hands as possible. The wind has picked up, which is fine because it's been scorchio for the last few days here in London, and it's nice that it's a little bit cooler. It stops murdering me wearing this hoodie. We can see the other side of the Google offices. Look, they're growing trees on top of the building. That's where your ad money goes. Watch for the ads in the middle of this YouTube, no doubt. I'm just going to head into Lighterman. I've been here before. I actually met an author here a little while ago. We sat down for a bite to eat. I'm going to roll that video for you now, and then we're going to have a wander along here, show you a little bit more about Cold Drops Yards, and then go and get another beer. But yeah, on to the Lighterman. See what you think. Welcome to Cold Drops Yard in King's Cross, which used to be notorious for drugs and hookers. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. And today, it's the Lighterman, which is pub number 8 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a beer.
Now let's be honest. It was always going to be busy in a pub, as this place is behind King's Cross Station, where these weirdos were queuing up to look at a trolley stuck into a wall. And there's been a lot of development in this area, where drug-fueled house music started the rave scene in the 1980s, but has now been transformed into artisan markets and canal-side viewing. But back to the bar. And this modern build on the edge of the canal is a gorgeous venue, split across 3 floors. And I was lucky to meet a book reviewer who reads nearly as many books as I go to pubs. So the least I could do is put on a good spread and get a nice bottle before heading down to their Canalside bar, where I might have had a pint, but it was cocktails all round, as I tried my best to pretend I could string 5 words together. Now, my mum might have only given me 4 out of 5 on Amazon, so here's hoping a professional reviewer gives a little more leeway. Pick up my book from the link in the bio. If you like books, follow Mia. If you like pints, follow me.
Well, that was the Lighterman. Let's have a look here. Let's see what's going on here. Just a bit off the cuff. No idea what's happening right now. This is a lovely little terrace. It was pretty good. I think they built it, a lot of it, around the Olympics. So you could sit and watch the Olympics. There'd be a big screen there. Every time I've been here since, even though they do have sporting events and stuff shown here, there's never been a TV before. But look, they are putting something up now. What a good use of space for an area that used to be so grotty. Now, let's follow me, Ben. We'll kind of go into the belly of the beast a little bit. Obviously, there's the old warehouses there. There's lots of the old... I'm going to try and walk down here, and this is where we have our next pub. We are going to show... Well, hopefully we're going to show the video. It was a long time. This is one of the first I ever filmed. So... it might be best if we try and film it again. And that will hopefully be what you see coming up next.
The rubbish surrounds a sad end to London's greatest ever night.
It's the House of Cans. It's number 9 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get a can.
But first we had to get there, and buried away in the modern development of Cold Drops Yard by the relic of Bagley's is this delightful bar that was founded in 2018. And I'm like a moth to a flame, because whilst I know that this is not a historic venue, it's one that blends creativity with sustainability by teaming up with artists, illustrators and designers to offer a gorgeous selection in a quirky setting. And where there's a bar, there's a beer. So after weighing up my options, I went for the Donzoco Chilli Lime Goose with a spicy kick to warm a hot body already sweltering under a hoodie in the sun. Now about those benches, because after the Olympic rings were removed from St Pancras Station, they were chopped up and used in this tribute park that used to be the site of the toilets for the nearby construction workers.
What a cool little place that was, and I hope you make that visit and enjoy it as much as I did. That beer that we had was incredible. It had got like a chili kick, but with a lime tang on there at the same time. Honestly, absolutely divine. And there was just so many different. I mean, I could have sat in there for quite a long time. But there's a bar, there's a beer, and we've still got a couple more to go. But this is the beauty of these pub crawls. I think the magic number for a pub crawl is somewhere between 10 and 12. And the reason I think that is that you don't have to visit every single one, but there's enough choice out of 10 or 12 that means that if you want the really old place, or you want like the big sort of grand banking hall, or the little cozy fireplace type pub, or something a little bit more eclectic like that, you get that in the route as well. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. I'm going to walk a little further along the canal now and show you some of the sights as we get along there. So we're going to keep going before we end up eventually back at the end of the route in King's Cross, St Pancras. Yeah, sun's coming out and starting to... Wanted to just give you a quick look at this for a bit of innovative housing. Look at these, gorgeous. I wonder how much these cost, fair few bob. But what a wonderful looking set of buildings inside the old, like the gas storage. All careful, someone's running, come on, keep going, just let them get past. That's all right, keep it up. It's far too hot to be running. It's just the right weather to be walking from pub to pub and getting beered up. Just crossing over now the canal, there is like a little wetlands park over here, which is a gorgeous little park. We've got the old church that we're going to walk past, which is the old St Pancras Church. And then I'm going to show you something that I cannot believe has been allowed to happen. It is a very, very sad end to one of the most glorious nights that this country has ever had. Yeah, you won't believe it when you see it. Unless, of course, you did see it, maybe I decided to put some of the footage into that video for House of Cans, in which case it won't be news to you. Looks like it should just be a bin. It used to be the site of where the toilets were when they were developing the station. And this is what I'm showing you. Now have a look at the colours and see whether it starts to give it away. Also the fact that they are curved. Gosh, there's so much rubbish everywhere. When London hosted the 2012 Olympics, and we had the big Olympic signs that were up on the stadium, and we hung them from Tower Bridge. After the Olympics were over, those circles were cut up and distributed across the country. And these are the Olympic rings. This is the Olympic Park. It's pretty underwhelming, isn't it? I mean, this is a very sad end
to an event that gave us Super Saturday, where we had Greg Rutherford and Jess Ennis and Mo Farah win those back-to-back gold medals on a night that, if you were there, and I remember watching it, you'll never forget. And this is what has become of the rings, albeit that they're covered in perspex to keep them safe from all the shit that's all around. Well, you know what? We've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. 2 more to go. Let's head into the station. Are you actually filming? Yep. Let's walk into this station. We will have a look at the penultimate pub, which is the Barrell Vault, which gets its name from the fact that the Midlands breweries used to always bring their beers in on the train lines into the warehouses that we've just seen, and then ultimately they would be stored in the vaults underneath these stations. Now, we might get stopped in a minute because they don't really like filming anything to do with this pub or round here, because this is the terminal for the trains for the Eurostar. And so they're always a little bit funny. So I will go in and ask and see if I can film, but the very likelihood is that if you want to come to the Barrell Vault, you probably need to either come here yourself or pick up my book and follow the route and end up at the penultimate pub. Let's go and see what they say, and if not, we'll be wandering up through St Pancras and having a look next at the wonderful, wonderful roof. Thank you, crawlers, for sticking around this long. I'm on to the last pub now, and thankfully I think I've sweated out most of the beers because it's been a little bit hot for most of it. I'm ending the route today underneath the wonderful, wonderful ceiling of St Pancras Station. We've got the Eurostar in the background. The pub that I will end up in is the Betjeman Arms, which is just in the corner. That video will be rolling soon. I've got some very fond memories when I arranged the pub call with my friends and family a long time before books were even a thing. We got to the end there. My little friend Alex, who's normally one of the people that turns up towards the end of the crawl, she turned up. Like a lot of people do, they want to try and catch up. And so to catch up, she got a lot of sambucas. It's kind of a thing that happens. And of course, when you're already 10 pubs in, having a sambuca sounds like a very good idea. And so she might have thought she was catching up, but really, we were sprinting off into the distance. I'm gonna head to the last pub now, roll that video, and then be back here to tell you more about where I will be going next time you see me.
This beautiful pub is nothing like the place this poet wanted to bomb.
It's the Betjeman Arms. It's pub number 11 on our Angel to King's Cross route. Let's go and get that pint.
It's hard to spot this pub hidden in the frontage of the Renaissance Hotel, which opened in 1873 and always seems to have a supercar outside. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to, and this station pub is almost always busy. Underneath the spectacular arch of St Pancras Station is their equivalent of a beer garden, which thankfully has heaters because it can get cold here. We can live with it when we get a cuddle off the team. Now, we know eating's cheating, but it was the end of a long day and we were treated to dinner as I tucked into the chicken pie and the big man went for the steak in this lovely restaurant underneath a ceiling that reminds me of the bars in New York. But back to the bar, and I went for a pint of Young Special, which I enjoyed with the after-work regulars. Now, as for the poem, Sir John Betjeman famously said, "Come friendly bombs, fall on slough, for it's not fit for humans now."
Well, we've got into the last pub just in time because it started to absolutely tip it down, which is not what I was expecting on what's been a relatively sunny June day. We're in the final pub, the Betjeman Arms. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed following the routes. This has brought back a lot of memories for me.
Remember, the thing that always makes these routes special to me personally, particularly the routes in my first book, these were the ones, the very first ones I did with my friends and my family over all of those years, before I even knew that this would be a thing. And so I've absolutely enjoyed, I've loved the route. Some highlights for me: I love the refit of the Alma, that's gorgeous. I love the way that the 3 Johns, the ceiling there always reminds me, similar to the ceiling, you know, we have seen in the video for here, reminds me of those bars of New York and those trips of New York. I love the quirky little house of cans. I love the Star of Kings, although there was going to be no karaoke. It was great to know that Word on the Water, who do feature in my book, their floating bookshop, they have sold copies of my book, which is incredible to hear. And then finally, like one of my favourite train station pubs. I love this pub. The food in here is sensational. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you already like, subscribe and comment, or anything else that you need to do on social media to help spread the word, so that we can get more books into the hands of more people, and more people can come out and explore. So I will say cheers. In fact, actually, I will also, I love the optimism of this place, by the way. They've given me a knife and a fork to tackle this Scotch egg. And so before I say cheers, goodbye, thank you very much, following on the route, I'm going to take a bite straight out of this. See what it's like. Oh God. Like a bowling ball. That's what this many pubs and this many pints will do. Totally messed with my concept of size there. Although that was delicious. If it stops raining, I might go out and have a look at the supercar that's outside, because it's always going to be there. We'll see. Anyway, checking out for now, and check out more videos and explore more pubs yourself. Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Well, this is a funny thing to just end the crawl on, because I told you that this would still be here. And this car has been here for so long that I've been able to write, edit, print, produce and distribute a book that features a photo of me next to this car. That's how long this car has been here. I don't think it moves. And on that note, we'll move on, and hopefully you'll watch another one of my videos soon. See ya.